For this demonstration, we're going to be creating an interior, so an inside room in 1-point perspective. We're going to be creating a bedroom, so it'll have a bed and a desk and a chair and the basic structure of a room. So 1-point perspective again has one vanishing point and a horizon line. It always starts with a horizon line and a vanishing point where all of our lines converge back to. So I need a ruler, I need a pencil, an eraser, and a piece of paper to do my basic construction on. So I'm going to start by putting in that horizon line. And like we did in the first video when we made the 1-point boxes, our horizon line is going to represent our eye level. So the eye level of me as the viewer and the artist. Anything above my horizon line I'm seeing the bottom of. Anything below my horizon line I see the top of, like a desk or a bed. So somewhere near the center of your page, doesn't have to be perfect, I'm going to put in my horizon line. And that is a horizontal straight line again that represents my eye level as artist and viewer. And I want to try to get it as parallel to my picture plane as I can, but again, it doesn't have to be perfect. So we always start with a horizon line, or an HL horizon line. Every perspective construction starts the same way. Now we need to have our vanishing point. So we're doing 1-point perspective, so that means we need one vanishing point, and we're going to put it on our horizon line near the center of our paper. That is our vanishing point. All of our lines, to make this look like it's dimensional, are going to go back or converge back towards this one vanishing point. And that's what gives us the illusion of dimensional space, 3D space, on a flat piece of paper that only has length and width as its dimensions. So we're going to start now by making our room. So I'm going to make a big square or box around my vanishing point that kind of encompasses or goes around my vanishing point. So I don't want to make it so big that I've got no space on the sides. But what I'm going to do is somewhere kind of down, maybe about halfway between my horizon line and the bottom of my paper, I'm going to draw a horizontal straight line that again goes close to but doesn't touch all the way on the sides of the paper. So I've left about a good 2.5 inches on the sides there. Do the same thing at the top. So near halfway between the vanishing point, horizon line and the top of my paper, I'm going to do a horizontal straight line. Again, that doesn't touch the edges or the sides of my paper. And any extra little bits, I can always erase those off later. So now I'm going to do some vertical lines that connect those two. So I'm drawing a big square basically around my vanishing point. And this is going to be the back wall of my room. So a vertical line that connects those two horizontals. Another vertical line that connects it on the other side. And then I'm going to take a minute and just erase out my extra pencil marks, get them out of the way. So that is going to be the back wall of this room that I'm constructing in 1-point perspective. Now I need to make the walls that are going out in space or look like they're coming towards me. So the floor, the ceiling, and the 2 side walls. Now a lot of people would just take the corner and line it up and draw a line straight to the corner here of the paper, but that would be inaccurate. We have to line up everything with that vanishing point in the center of our paper. So I'm going to take the bottom left corner, I'm going to line that up with my vanishing point in the center, but I'm not going to draw towards my vanishing point. I'm going to draw away from it, towards the bottom of my paper. I'm going to do the same thing now for the bottom right side. So the bottom right side lines up with my vanishing point in the center again. And I'm going to draw away from my vanishing point, or down towards the bottom of the paper. And you can see that it didn't line up with the corner of my paper. So this is right. It has to always line up with our vanishing point. So this is my floor of my bedroom. And I'm going to make the ceiling and the 2 walls by taking the top left corner, lining that up with my vanishing point in the center, and then again drawing away from my vanishing point. So now I have floor and the wall on the left-hand side. Then I'm going to take my vanishing point, line that up with my top right corner, and then again draw away from that vanishing point. So now I have ceiling and the right side of my paper done as well too. So that's the room that my objects are going to live in. So the next thing I'm going to do is create a door. I'm going to put a door on the right side of my paper here, and it's going to get close to touching, it's going to touch the floor there. So I'm not going to go right at the edge of my paper. I'm going to come in with my ruler a bit, and I'm going to do a vertical that goes a little bit higher than my horizon line, cuts through my horizon line, but then stops when it meets that vanishing line, or that converging line on my floor. Then I'm going to come on the other side. I'm going to give it some space. The artist, I get to decide how much space I want to give it. I'm going to leave some space. And I'm going to do that same thing again. I'm going to do a vertical that goes through my horizon line, but then again stops when it meets the converging line at the bottom of my floor in this case. So I don't have to do the bottom, it's already done for me. It's already done because that's where it met the floor, but I do have to do the top of the door. So that first vertical I drew to make my door, I'm going to take that top point, I'm going to line that up with my vanishing point in the center, and I'm going to draw towards the center until those two verticals meet. Since my door is on the side of my room here, the wall that converges back in space, anything that I put on this wall has to go back towards that vanishing point as well. If I were to put a door on this back wall, closet or whatever, that would just be straight verticals and straight horizontals because it's on a wall that was constructed using straight verticals and straight horizontals. But since this is on a wall that's constructed going back towards our vanishing point, anything I put on this wall has to go back towards the vanishing point too. So I can make that look like a door by just putting a doorknob there. It's a door that's shut. So what I'm going to do now is a set of windows. I'm going to do a window on the back wall here and a window on the left-hand side of my room. So I'm going to start with the one in the back, and that's going to start pretty easy because it's going to start with straight horizontals and straight verticals because, again, it's on a wall that was constructed using straight horizontals and straight verticals. So I'm going to come above my horizon line a bit, and I'm going to do a horizontal that's parallel to my horizon line that stops before it gets to my vanishing point. I'm going to do the same thing at the top. So I'm going to leave some space from the ceiling line there. Come down from that a bit. I'm going to draw a horizontal straight across. That's underneath the top of my wall there. Then I'm going to connect those with verticals. Again, just like we did with our 1-point boxes, we started with straight horizontals and straight verticals. Doing that same thing. But my window isn't flush with the wall like a door would be. It doesn't line up with the wall. It's sunk back into the wall. So I want to show that by having some dimension on the sides over here. So I'm going to take the top left corner. I'm going to line that up with my vanishing point in the center, and I'm going to draw a little line back towards my vanishing point. So this is going to be the thickness of that window that we can again see through it because it's a pane of glass. So where I let that end, I'm going to drop a horizontal straight down until it meets the bottom of my window there. I'm going to do the same thing at the top. So the corner where those two lines met, the converging line and the straight vertical, I'm going to line that up. And I'm going to do a horizontal straight across. So that this is the thickness of my window that I can see, because again, this is glass. So that would be my window there, but I can again see that thickness. I'm going to do one more window. I'm going to do a window on the left-hand side so you can see what it looks like when it's converging back to the vanishing point. So I'm going to leave some space from the vertical that makes the corner of my wall. I'm going to come in from that a bit, and I'm going to do a vertical that's underneath my ceiling line and stops before it hits my horizon line. Then I'm going to give it some space so I can determine if I want a really big window or a really skinny window. It's up to me as the artist. We'll go ahead and medium size. I'm going to do a vertical that's underneath my ceiling line again. So it's taller than that first line, so it's a little bit taller than that. And then it stops before it hits my horizon line. So I've got those two verticals. Remember, in one-point perspective, our verticals stay straight up and down. So the top of that second vertical that I drew, I'm going to line that up with my vanishing point in the middle, and I'm going to draw a line that connects the two. The top of that vertical lines up to my vanishing point in the center, and I'm going to draw a line that converges towards my vanishing point until those two verticals meet. Get rid of my extra there. Do the same thing at the bottom. So the bottom of that second vertical that I drew is going to line up with my vanishing point in the center, and I'm going to draw towards my ruler got bumped. Draw towards my vanishing point. So there's my window converging back in 3D space. But again, it's a window, and I can see through the glass, and I can see the thickness of the wall. Since it's on the left-hand side wall, I'm actually going to see the thickness of the window on the right of that window itself. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the top right corner, and I'm going to draw a horizontal straight in. So just a little one that's going to be the thickness of my window. So that top right corner, line that up with the right ruler, and I do a horizontal straight in towards my window. And I'm over exaggerating. This is going to be a really thick window, thick wall. That's okay. Again, we're just learning basic construction with these drawings. So where I left that hang out in space, I'm going to do a vertical straight down to represent the thickness of that wall. Since I'm the artist, I get to decide where that's going to be at. And I'm going to do a vertical straight down that's parallel to the side of my window until it meets the bottom of my window frame. Then this corner where that vertical met the horizontal with those straight lines there, straight verticals and straight horizontals, I'm going to line that up with my vanishing point in the center, but I'm going to draw back until it hits the other side of the window. So that point lines up with my vanishing point in the center, but I draw back towards the other side of my window. So that this is the thickness of the wall. This is the thickness of the ceiling wall. And my window's in there.